What is up, pro wrestling fans? Welcome back to the Royal Ramble. I am your host, John Covey Cool. John Covey Cool. John Covey Cole. I can't even say my own name. I'm so excited. We got a lot to get to this week. AEW Revolution just happened last night. I'm sure our AEW correspondent, if you will, Mr. Lyndon Childers, is going to have some stuff to talk about. All right, Kenny Dunn's in the chat. He says, "What's up, fellas? No Booker T Hall of Fame podcast this week." I can dig it, sucker. I can dig it. But yeah, not this week. This time, we're going to try to ramble the way we can, the way we like to do. I've been upgrading some stuff in the studio. Got my microphone dialed in and everything. We got Mike's stuff working over there. Got him coming in through his cell phone, but the camera looks phenomenal, Mike. Looks good. Lyndon looking good. Tommy looking good. Guys, we got a lot to get to this week. I said we go ahead and jump right in. What say you fellas?
Pretty good, John Covey Cooler. My name isn't Mitchell B. Wilson.
Well, I'm not sure if it's you or somebody else, Mitchell, but I can hear somebody's stream, so you need to turn it down.
No, it's not me, buddy.
Okay. It's somebody. Tommy's it you? Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know.
I'm hearing it now, too.
You hear it now, too, Tommy?
Yeah.
Kenny, do you hear a background ramble inside the ramble? A ramble within the ramble, if you will? Anyway,
I'm not hearing anything.
I don't hear nothing either. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started with our weekly reviews of some WWE stuff. I told you guys weeks ago that we were doing somewhat of a point system here on the show now, kind of like the Around the Horn process. We have not broadcasted it on TV, or on the stream, rather. We're not going to do that this week, but we're gearing to where we're going to be doing that soon. That being said, every week has been judged from a point system, and last week I got the points. I don't remember exactly how many points I got, which was not by design. That's the way it's supposed to work. Is 4 other people are supposed to be doing it. Tommy, quit looking like that. I see you over there. I'm not supposed to be part of it. I'm supposed to be the host. I'm supposed to let you guys ramble amongst yourselves. But we only got 4 of us now because Justin had to take a hiatus because of his Wyoming County internet issues. So there's just 4 of us now instead of 5 of us. So you guys just got to do better. It's going to be hard for you guys to get your shit in, though. If I'm hosting, that means I'm talking about 60 to 70% more than you guys are. So I might win every week. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
So nothing's different.
I was going to say that.
There's nothing different.
I got to get a point for that, John. Give me a point for that.
I'm not in charge of the points, pal. That's somebody else altogether. That being said, what I was getting to is I will let my cohorts here know in the next couple of days who wins the points for the week. And then next week we're going to switch the reviews. As of right now, Lyndon's doing AEW, Tommy's doing Raw, and Mike is doing SmackDown. So whoever wins the points this week is going to get to switch their respective show if they prefer to, or they can keep their show, and then we'll randomize the other 2, and I will let you guys know by next week who you're going to be reviewing. That being said, it is Monday night. That means we're almost a week out of Monday Night Raw. So, Tommy, we're going to start with you this week, my dude. You get to break us in with the Raw review of the week.
All right, so this thing started out hot with Punk coming out of a truck running down. He's mad at everybody. Mad at John Cena. He's mad at The Rock. He's mad at Seth Rollins. Rollins comes out. Hey, that is the greatest hype for their WrestleMania match coming up. I really like that. Gunther beat Otis, and it's a good warm-up match for Gunther. Whatever. Let's see, what else you got? I think Ludwig and Penta is going to be a good WrestleMania match. Get Penta in there, get some good work in. I still think he's going to be a champion later on. War Raiders beat the Creed brothers, no surprise there. But I'll tell you what, that main event where Iro Sky beat Rhea Ripley for the championship. Hey, you've had both women's titles changed the past 2 weeks. It's showing a lot good for women's wrestling.
Okay, very, very well done, Tommy. Very well done. Me personally, the thing that I took most out of last week's Raw was that main event you were talking about. It's no surprise that I'm not a huge women's wrestling fan, but those girls did have a great match, and they got me. I didn't think there was no way in hell Rhea was going to lose the title to Io there. That just totally surprised me.
I agree.
Yep.
Mike agrees.
Yeah.
And as always, I forgot to mention at the top of the show, guys, everybody has a ramble. And for those that don't know what that means, anytime throughout the show, any of my panelists can throw up an X and they can have a minute to talk about anything they want, whether it be wrestling related. It could be the topic that we're talking about. It could be something else altogether. That being said, Tommy, thank you for the Raw review, my friend. We're going to keep it moving. Next up, I believe we are going to go to Mr. Lyndon Childress with the AEW review. AEW Revolution was last night. Lyndon, I'm sure you got a lot to talk about. Go ahead and hit us with it, big guy.
All right, AEW Revolution. Good pay-per-view. It had its moments. Just to go off the top, Mariah May, Tony Storm, classic ending to a classic rivalry. Bloodier than ever, and good from beginning to end. Another match that stuck out: Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher. I'll tell you what, whatever match that you put Will Ospreay in, that man will deliver times tenfold. And they both put on a hell of a match. Swerve, Ricochet, hell of a match on its own. Even with Hangman Page and MJF, those guys, they did their thing. One match that probably lackluster I felt was the main event, because it just made no sense. You kind of saw it coming with Christian coming in and being a part of to make it a triple threat. But
yeah, that was true, Lyndon. I'm not sure why they would waste Christian's cash in there. Well, yeah, I do. It was kind of their way of turning Christian against Edge again. Or, I'm sorry, Cope again. But, yeah, I felt like that was a waste. And
it was lackluster ending, I think, on the most part.
It wasn't. From what I've seen, I watched some of the highlights. It was just a typical AEW spot show. Unnecessary bleeding, unnecessary flippy dippy, not a lot of storyline. I mean, there's some there, but
honestly, the only storyline really was Tony Storm and Mariah May.
Oh, they've been working that for a while. That's been good.
And probably Ospreay and Fletcher, but Tony Storm and Mariah May was that story ended the way it needed to end. It was, like I said, it was good back and forth. So.
I agree 100%. Tommy, I'm going to come back to you real quick. Our buddy Kenny Dunn in the chat says Roman comes back tonight on Raw and sets up him and Rollins and Punk match. Do you think that's going to happen tonight?
I believe that was going to happen since the Royal Rumble.
Right, but they better pull the trigger soon. You know what I mean?
What, we got 6 weeks?
Something like that. Something like that.
So yeah, they need to do something.
Landon, unless you throwing your X up, big guy, it's Tommy's floor right now. Sorry, brother. Yeah, I know it's terrible. This format, I know you hate it. I know you hate it, and I love that you hate it.
I'm not going to rolling it.
Thank you, I appreciate it. This is a PG show now, sir. Thank you very much. We'll see how long that happens. That being said, Lennon, again, great review of AEW Revolution. I really want to get back in on AEW because I want to give them a chance. I want them to be a good option to WWE TV, but every time I try, they let me down. I don't know.
When Tony Khan stops being a freaking mark, then AEW might get better.
Well, I hate to say it, but what he needs to do is he needs to get him a booker in there and let somebody else book. He needs to get the book out of his hands. That's what he needs to do.
Because he sucks at it.
And he don't have all bad ideas. I'm not going to say he does because some of his ideas have been good. but he's just not a long-term storyteller at all.
No.
It's killing Tommy over there. Tommy wants to chime in so bad. I love it. I love it. You guys got your X's. Don't forget that. All right, Mike, we're going to move on to you. We just had Friday Night SmackDown. Cody come back, had some stuff to say, had a big old shiner on his face. That being said, Mike, the floor is now yours, my friend.
Thank you, John. And speaking of the PG era, I have to bring this back because of this format. This is Michael Lee Wills, SmackDown's #1 wrestling reviewer. But with that said, guys, I had to throw that little bit of humor in. I think the monsters were playing on SmackDown. I love the angle they're doing with Jade Cargill because, with her in-ring talent notwithstanding being such a powerhouse, it's good to put her in a storyline like that. The Braun Strowman fight when good old Fatu got up after that, going through the table, still got up and walked away. That was great. The whole Cody Rhodes thing with, if you want some, come get some. And finally, I like a good redemption story when the news broke about Lex Luger being inducted into the Hall of Fame with him trying to put his life back together and get on his feet, literally. Overall, I enjoyed it.
Pretty good, pretty good. There were some key points you missed out of SmackDown, but I'll leave that to the judge. Like I said, I'm not in charge of the points. So, what's funny is my compadres here on the show don't even know who's in charge of the points. It could be somebody I have in my pocket. We don't know. Maybe not. But anyway, the Jade Cargill, Bianca stuff, Mike, I think that is the best women's storytelling that the WWE has done in some time, other than the Liv and the Rhea stuff. The only thing that I can compare AEW's storytelling women-wise is the Mariah May and Toni Storm stuff, which has been phenomenal. But,
John, may I ask you a question about that, if I may?
I thought I asked the questions on this show.
I know, but I have a question about that because you have a little bit more smarts when it comes to this. When you have I guess for lack of a better term, a raw talent, as Jade Cargill is, does a good storyline like this help her career, and will that eventually help her refine said raw talent?
Well,
because the way I was seeing it is because she is so raw still, even after her time in AEW, I think a good storyline like this maybe will get more people on her side. Okay, she's not the best in the ring, but because she has a good storyline, they can overlook some of that stuff and just use that raw power and just bulldoze her way through certain scenarios like this.
Well, I have two things before I even get to your answer. One, you no longer have your ramble. You should have threw your X up. That was definitely a minute of rambling. Two, she's not a Raw talent. She's a SmackDown talent, but I know what you meant.
That's what I meant. I apologize.
I know what you meant. And
I meant raw talent.
I know what you meant. And thirdly, I think they're trying to hide her flaws the best they can, Mike. She's not a great wrestler. She is a powerhouse. She's looks like $1 million. Lyndon's like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say over here. She's great. She's phenomenal, but she's not a great wrestler yet, and they're working with her. She probably wasn't even hurt, to be honest with you. They probably just sent her back to the PC to work out and try to get ready for a potential match at WrestleMania, because she does bring money in. She looks like $1 million. She's a draw. So only time will tell, Mike. I mean, some people pick it up faster than others. I know DDP, he didn't start training to be a wrestler until he was like 35. And he did fine. Some people start training at 16, 17 years old, and by the time they're 18, Randy Orton, they're in the WWE, and they're doing just fine. So I'm not going to give up on her just yet. I think she still has a lot of work to do, but she's not quite there yet. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes. And I love what DDP is doing, even in his 60s, to, tag on with what he's doing with, Lex Luger.
Speaking of Lex Luger, our buddy Kenny Dunn in the chat, who is our fifth member, he says Lex murdered Elizabeth. Need to put Benoit in the Hall of Fame now. There's probably some truth to that, Kenny, because they were partying, yada yada yada. You'll have to look into that on your own if you don't know the story on that. But yeah, there was some precarious allegations around the time of Elizabeth's death. So yeah. That being said, we're
And-
going to go ahead. What, Tommy?
And Raw Talent wrestles in Charleston.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing for Raw Talent. I introduced him to my wife years ago, and he made moves on her, so I was done with him. That's pro wrestling for you, though, I suppose. Outlaw mud shows, baby. Outlaw mud shows.
Right.
All right, guys, we're going to bounce around now to our crew, and we are going to ask certain questions to our guys, and we're going to actually start with Lyndon this week because I feel like why not, right?
Why start with me?
Why not? Why not? You mentioned the AEW at the start of the show. You were talking about AEW. This is actually in the realm of AEW. The biopic, however you want to pronounce it, Queen of the Ring, that was based on professional wrestler Mildred Burke, came out over the weekend, and some of the stars were at the show Sunday night at Revolution. Demarius Lewis stars as Babs Wingo in Queen of the Ring, being the first African American woman to integrate female professional wrestling. Babs Wingo knew in order to win in this life, you must believe you are a winner before anyone else does, and never ever give up that mentality. Well, during the AEW broadcast, Demarius Lewis, who is playing Babs, said on camera, "One thing I've learned about pro wrestlers, you're going to win before anyone else does." It's well known that pro wrestling is scripted, everybody knows it, but that didn't stop the internet from reacting poorly to her on-air admission, giving her down the road. She actually turned off some of her comments on her Instagram. My question for you, Lyndon, is do you feel like fans are justified in their anger towards her, or do you think it was just a simple mistake and people need to get over it?
It's so funny because I had watched this clip and I think myself, I had said, it's like, girl, why would you say that? You must have not meant to say it, but you probably were trying to say something else, but that's what you came out with. I mean, I understand why, the wrestling community kind of flipped their tops, but those of us who have been watching wrestling almost all of our life, and we've either done it or we've watched it or whatever the case may be, we understand the things that go on with wrestling. Because we know that it's, especially with WWE, we know that it's sports entertainment, and we know that they have everything pre-planned and everything. So for those saying that she's exposing, it's like wrestling done been exposed. She ain't saying nothing new. So I think it was just really, just a misunderstanding and people just taking it far out of what it should be.
Wrestling fans being wrestling fans. Kenny Dunn in the chat said, "It's still real to us, damn it."
Exactly. So, and I kind of figured it was going to be about that clip because I had watched it this morning. And I'm like, I know what it's about.
Yeah, I mean that was like you said. I agree with you. It was just a bad wording on her part, and she was probably mentioning what I mentioned because that was something that was said about that lady years ago, and she just said didn't put all of her words together, and it made it look really bad.
It was just a real
Dr. D was there.
Oh yeah, he'd have had something for her, wasn't he, Tommy? All right, we're gonna move on, Tommy. We're gonna come to you now, my dude, and my discussion for you is about the whole Cody Rhodes Travis Scott incident. Many wrestlers have openly commented on the way that Travis Scott smacked Cody Rhodes at the end of the Elimination Chamber last week, causing a black eye and reportedly a busted eardrum. Stevie Richards said that he's an asshole. I mean, what a jerk move to do, Travis Scott. You're an asshole. WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray said, "It's when the mark in the ring all of a sudden decides that he's a pro wrestler and he knows what the hell he's doing. And that mark is Travis Scott. Travis Scott decided that he's going to look like some tough guy in front of the world. You got one coming, Travis, and I hope it's from Cody. If it's not from him, I hope I never see you out one day. My question for you, Tommy, is do you feel like this blame falls on Travis Scott, or does it fall on the WWE for not making sure Travis Scott was prepared beforehand?
That's a little bit of a both because they should have said, "Hey, this is how you hit." Dude, just almost like he went into business for himself. That was horrible, and to bust Cody's eardrum, how long is it going to take? Because that might have affected your main event WrestleMania. Because his balance might be off for another 6-7 weeks till we get to WrestleMania, and it won't be a good quality match now with Cena because you got some dude taking it onto himself to actually smack somebody that hard. That was just ridiculous. That was awful. Uh, I just wonder if WWE even knew he was going to do that kind of move. But that's awful, terrible. I actually watched that clip that you was talking about with
Bully Ray?
Stevie Richards. Stevie Richards.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Yeah, he was mad about it. And I plumb understand it.
I do too, because as a professional wrestler, you are giving your body to that other person. And if that other person is going to act like that, that's ridiculous. But that's why I wanted to word the question like I did, because as Roscoe Rooster, there's a spoiler guy. As Roscoe Rooster, I'm sure you have gotten in the ring before with people that weren't trained, but you probably smarted them up before you got in there and said, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it."
Exactly.
And
exactly. Yeah.
If Travis Scott did go into business for himself, they need to get rid of his ass because, or don't get rid of him. Let him get in there and have some fun. Let somebody kick his little ass.
Get that receipt, buddy.
Yes,
That's what he needs to do. He needs to get that receipt. But I mean, like I say, as a wrestler, I don't like it. I mean, yeah, you always kind of smarten them up a little bit. I know we talked about killing that woman's killing the business. We're killing it a little bit, but we've been there.
Well, Kenny Dunn says, why are they even integrating him in the story? Cena had to put Cody back on the mat when he tried lifting him up. Well, Kenny, I'll tell you the same thing I've said on this show many times. That Travis Scott being there is not for us. It's not for us old heads. That's a way to draw in the younger viewers. He's got a lot of fans in the hip hop world that will tune in just to watch him and to see what he's going to do. I'm not opposed to it, but do it right. Don't do it like this. Yeah. And about the busted eardrum, Tommy, that's just alleged. It's not spoken to be a fact anywhere that I've seen. It's just a possibility. But you're right. If his eardrum is busted, his equilibrium is going to be off, and his balance is going to be off, and that could take months to heal.
And the way he pulled his arms, too, I forgot about that, where he pulled his arms there in the beginning.
Kenny says, what the hell? Booker T Hall of Fame just came on. Shucky ducky, quack, quack, Linda. All right, we're going to finish off the ramble this week with Mr. Mike Wills.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to take it a different direction with you. With Lyndon and Tommy, I kind of went more behind the scenes. With you, I wanted to go more on the lines of storyline, because you are our resident fan here on the show. You've not had the privilege of being around the business much, so you are our wrestling fan on the show, if you will. We're all fans, but you know what I mean. That being said, my question for you this week is, Dirty Dom has been hinting around about adding a new member to the Judgment Day here lately, which has been quickly shut down by Finn Balor. As wrestling fans, we would assume they are going to add someone else for the simple fact that they keep talking about it. But my question for you, Mike, is who do you think would be a great fit for the group?
Well, this makes for some interesting possibilities, John. Let's take, for example, Dominic Mysterio. He has, pound for pound, got more heat than anybody in quite a while. The big, storyline, notwithstanding, with, excuse me, with the tribe, the tribal chief and the bloodline. But with that being said, I think a perfect compliment to Dom and to the, to his group, how about a Maverick? How about Logan Paul? Now think about this. Logan Paul gets heat in his own right. You match him up or put him up with Dirty Dom. Even though he's a Maverick, I can see him, vying for power where Finn Balor was. What the heck was that?
Happy New Year! Oh, Lord.
I was trying to pop Tommy, and I popped my damn self. Well, that would be a cool. Logan Paul would definitely work, Mike. If I was booking, I don't think he would be my number one choice. Kenny down in the chat says Aleister Black. He should be back soon. I don't know if Aleister Black would fit in that group, though. You know what I would love to see? I don't think they'll give it to us, but could you imagine Aleister Black and bisexual Undertaker, Damian Priest as a tag team?
The who?
You've not heard that term, the bisexual Undertaker?
I don't want to hear that term ever again, John.
Oh, sorry. Wow. Hey, it's Big Cliff. Welcome here, buddy. He said, wait, no chicken? Oh, yeah, he's here.
Yeah, I'll stay here.
He's here. I changed the people around on the screen a little bit, Ben. Probably messed you up. I hate you just now getting here, Ben. We got 2 minutes left to ramble. You done missed all the fun. We got a huge cage match tonight on Raw. Hopefully we get Roman Reigns sighting at least something. Mm-hmm. Maybe he comes in and calls Seth the match or something. I don't know. Maybe he comes in, takes them both out. I don't know. But
Ben Cliff just got done watching a wrestling show at a church.
Oh, Ben
I saw some of his posts. Yeah.
Ben Cliff says Karrion Kross in charge of the Judgment Day. I could see that. That would kind of change the dynamic of where they're at now, though. But maybe they need that. Maybe they need a shake-up.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering.
That's possible.
I'm just wondering if Finn Balor is going to get on board, or if he's going to end up exiting the group. Because right now he's like, no, we ain't adding nobody to this group. This is just what we got.
Hey, Ben in Black would be a good match right there.
You ain't lying.
Yep.
Mike Wills, do you remember who the original members of the Judgment Day was?
Going back to Edge, and Edge was the creator of the group, and it was Rhea Ripley was like the first surprise edition, and let's see, who else was it? It was Damian Priest and Edge and Rhea Ripley. Those were the three, and the rest of the names escape me.
I'm trying to remember. Tommy, I see your brain racking over there. Who was the original members?
I remember Finn came later, but it originally was Edge, and then like you said, Rhea was the mystery person came out, and Damien, and then Finn, and then that's when Finn kicked out Edge.
Yeah. When Finn got there, that's when they kicked Edge out of the group.
Yeah.
And it was Rhea that brought in Dominic.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that was kind of a culmination. They were all messing with his mind with Rey Mysterio.
Right.
And, yeah. Rhea Ripley could bring me in anywhere. You feel me?
Giggity.
Giggity, giggity, giggity. All right, guys. Other than Mike Wills not calling the Ramble, nobody called the Ramble this week. I'm disappointed in you, gentlemen. I was looking for somebody to cut me off all night long, and y'all didn't do it. It's now time for the end of the show. Ben, I apologize. You're just now getting here, my friend. He says he's at work. I understand. That being said, we're going to go ahead and bounce around the panel here and get some final thoughts. And Tommy, other than you being happy to be here, buddy, do you have any final thoughts?
I figured all my ad-libbing was enough for a ramble when I was, throwing little comments out. But
You had a little
uh,
bit here and there. You had a little bit here and there. But
yeah, I was trying.
Mike's was consistent though. Mike talked for like a minute and a half, so that's
But
why I took this from him.
I gotta throw a jab every now and then. I gotta
Fair
work it. Yeah, but I'm still happy to be here.
we know you're happy to be here, old buddy. Mike Wills, you got any final thoughts, old buddy?
Yes, sir. It would be so much easier if life was scripted like pro wrestling is. But unfortunately, really, guys, sometimes life can get you down. Sometimes things in life can bring you down. But I'm glad we've got things like pro wrestling to watch. And for a minute, you can suspend your disbelief and just be taken away by the stories in wrestling, and take your mind off of the troubles in life for a while. And sometimes you have to do what the Undertaker said in one of his individual shows: is that you got to look in the mirror and look at yourself and realize who the hell you are, and put your crown on right, and let the sun go down, then let the sun rise up, and go do another day. Because for me, the road I take is that Mike Wills is the only one that can take that road, and sometimes we have to do that. There's only so much that can be put on our shoulders, but nobody can carry my load. Only I can carry my load, and that's what we got to do, guys. We just got to keep rambling on.
That's a fact there. That's well spoken, Mike Wills. I will say this before I bounce it over to Lyndon to get his final thoughts. I never thought about it until just now when you said it, but pro wrestling probably was my first of a lot of things. It was my first best friend. It was my absent parent. I mean, there were a lot of times pro wrestling was there for me when nothing or nobody else was. And that's probably why I'm always going to be a pro wrestling fan, because it's always got my back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mike
Doggone it, I love pro wrestling.
Mike gonna make me cry over here. All right, Lyndon, let's get some final thoughts, big guy. Bring this son bitch back up. Mike done got in his feels over here.
So to keep it short and sweet, I'll just say what Roman said one time during an interview.
What'd he say? Ooh, ah!
No, he said something about my enemies are mad because I woke up today. So,
Yeah. Yep.
I remember that.
All I'm going to say is my enemies are mad because I woke the fuck up today. Again, like we say, it's just stay tuned in. No matter what you watch, if it's WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan, wherever you find wrestling, wherever you can watch it, just enjoy it. Everybody's going to have their thoughts on it. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Just don't ruin it for somebody else. Just keep your thing. Just keep your main thing the main thing, and just watch it. WrestleMania is going to be good. Just watch all the stories unfold before you.
Kenny Dunn in the chat said it's all rainbows and unicorn farts over here.
It can be.
Well, that's where gumdrops come from.
I love gumdrops. All right, guys, we're out of time for today. I appreciate you guys rambling with us. As always, we'll be back next week as long as I don't oversleep again. Tommy Thomason.
About that.
You mentioned it this time, and I promised you I wouldn't.
All right, guys, for Tommy Thomason, Lyndon Childers, Michael Lee Wills, I'm John Covey Co. Guys, go watch some wrestling. We'll catch you guys next week. Until next time, Mike Wills, hit him with it.
Until next time, guys, ramble on.